Welcome, history fanatics, to Mrs. Heron's video playlist, where you will get the best of the best in social studies. In Unit 2, Southwest Asia, our goal is to analyze the impact of geography on history, culture, population, government, and the economy in Southwest Asia. This unit is split up into 3 chapters: 16, Arabia and Iraq; 17, Israel and its neighbors; and 18, Iran, Turkey, and Cyprus. Okay, today we're moving on to Chapter 17, Israel and its neighbors. We're starting in Section 1, Chapter Atlas, and the goal is to identify the cause and effect relationships in modern Arabia and Iraq today. We're going to examine the physical geography of Israel and its neighbors: Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, the Golan Heights, West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. I should mention that some people refer to the West Bank and the Gaza Strip as the Palestinian territories. Israel and its neighbors are located on the edge of the Mediterranean Sea, an important trade waterway during early civilization. This region has 4 geographic areas. To the west is a long coastal plain. East of this is a string of hills and mountains, and even further east lies part of the Great Rift Valley. Farthest east is the Syrian desert. There are several important water sources in this region, one of these being the Jordan River. The Jordan River runs from Syria and Lebanon into the Sea of Galilee, and eventually south to the Dead Sea. This region is also home to the Euphrates River, which runs from Turkey into Syria and finally into Iraq. Combined, these natural sources of water make up a region known as the Fertile Crescent. So there are several types of climate going on in this region. We have Mediterranean, semi-arid, and arid. The Mediterranean climate is primarily along here, the Mediterranean Sea. This is also where most of the rainfall in this region is. In areas with a Mediterranean climate, summers are typically really hot and dry, and winters are moist and mild. Mountains and highlands separate the desert from the Mediterranean Sea. Cool air falls as rain on one side of the mountain, and it passes over the mountain as dry and hot air. The desert plateau that lies east of the Mediterranean rarely catches any of the rain from the other side of the mountain, and so we call this a rain shadow effect. This semi-arid climate cannot support much plant and animal life. It stretches from central Syria into western Jordan. The remainder of this region has an arid climate, which is very hot and very dry. Even fewer plants and animals can survive in this desert climate. Just like in Iraq and Arabia, this region receives very little rainfall outside of the rainy winter season, making fresh water a limited source. Thus, this region relies heavily on their aquifers, or underground layers of rock that collect water. The use of wells and water pumps allow the people to access this water. The issue is that as the population grows, the aquifers cannot refill in time to sustain the region, hence the phrase "the well has run dry." They could rely on desalination like in Arabia and Iraq, but they cost a lot of money. The only major source of water in some countries like Syria is the Euphrates, whereas Lebanon has several reliable sources of fresh water. Water has become such a limited resource that some countries have resorted to violence over the use of the Euphrates River, the Jordan River, and the Yarmouk River. Even the use of aquifers has been the source of conflict, such as the Israeli people who use aquifers in the West Bank for water. Many Palestinians live in the West Bank, and they complain that the aquifers are rightfully theirs, and are afraid that the aquifer will run dry if Israelis keep using it. The issue is so problematic that some experts believe it could eventually lead to a war of water in the region. So most people in this region fall into one of 2 ethnic groups, Jewish or Arab. In Israel, most people identify as Jewish. Whereas in the Palestinian territories of Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan, the majority of people identify as Arab. There is also a small Kurdish population in northeast Syria, as well as a minority of Turkish and Armenian people. Typically, Israeli Jews speak Hebrew and follow the practices of Judaism, while Arabs speak Arabic. The Arab population is religiously diverse in this region, with the majority being Sunni Muslim. A smaller population are Shia Muslim, Alawite Muslims, Christians, and the Druze. The Druze follow a combination of Islam mixed with other religions, and the Alawites follow a form of Islam that is similar to Shia. In Lebanon, the majority of people are either Shia Arab or Christian Arab, while in Syria, most Kurds are Sunni Muslim. I know it's a little difficult to follow. Ironically, the past 40 years of Syrian leaders have been Alawites, and the majority of Jordan is composed of Sunni Muslim Arabs, with a minority of Christians and Shia Muslims. Conflict in this region between both ethnic and religious groups has been ongoing for many years.